Ilia Topuria is officially the pound for pound king, and all is right with the world. Islam is number 2, where he belongs. You know, Marab is number 3. I put Marab over Islam, but it is what it is. Islam is still Islam, man. I can't even lie to you. Shout outs to that dude. And then Dreykus is number 4. Dreykus being number 4 on this pound for pound list is definition of an elephant on a tree. How we got there, we will never know, but he is number 4, and Alessandro Pantoja has been upgraded to number 5. I feel like Tom Aspinall should be above Alexander Volkanovski because, he retired John Jones without throwing a single punch at him. But you know what time it is? This is High Guard TV, the YouTube channel that is playing in the background while John Jones is in Thailand sniffing the hair of young men. And today, that very lost individual, Wolf, is not around because he went to work. And I'm bored, and there is no way in hell I am covering Derek Lewis versus Tyson Teixeira. So I decided that I would probably just go on Twitter and read some tweets and give my thoughts about it because I'm bored and whatever. But anyway, before I continue, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't, and let's get into the video. So I'm going to be on championship rounds. Shout outs to them. They be the one giving all this interesting news. I'm just going to give my thoughts on it. First of all, I saw this brief exchange between Arman Sarukian and Dan Hooker. He said on side notes, Dan Hooker is still a little B. Just thought that needed to be said. And Dan Hooker replied, you're a human side note. A number 1 contender no one gives a fuck about. I think Dan Hooker won this exchange. He was funny as hell. I'm telling you, Arman is someone that we really, really want to sharp. I really, really hope he doesn't get the next title shot. But then again, I don't want Paddy to get the title shot. So I don't know who I dislike more, Paddy or Arman. I don't know who you guys dislike more. But if it becomes between shafting Arman and putting Paddy, man, you know what, man? Whatever. But anyway, Arman Sarukian doesn't know that he gets fried on Twitter every single day whenever he talks. But they're moving on to Paddy, a very lost individual. The individual who is still not a champion and who has only fought one ranked opponent. Paddy Pimblett had the audacity to go on a podcast and say, what the fuck was the game plan? Stand in front of him and get punched in the face. It blew my mind how stupid he can be. It was his 47 pro fight and he was going in there like an amateur. Paddy Pimblett, you have some real nerve to talk. Honestly speaking, you went life and death with Jared Gordon in a fight that you lost. And then your comeback fight, you fought a washed up Tony Ferguson. I really don't want to hear this from you, brother. Exactly. Like, Charles didn't have the best game plan, but you would get choked out by Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria, since that time that you called him a tower boy that nobody remembers, he has gone on to be champion in 2 divisions. Whereas you just fought your first ranked opponent this year. You are lame as hell, Paddy. You suck. You are a third-rate fighter. And honestly, I was rooting for Michael Chandler against you. But, I hope they give you a shot. Or I hope they give you another fight and you get knocked out in your next fight. You don't even deserve to fight Ilia. But anyway, the very lost individual, Ali Abdelaziz, had the audacity to put out that the real pound for pound king beat Prime Volkanovski on a 22-fight win streak, beat Prime Oliveira on a 12-fight win streak. No, he did not, bro. He lost to Volkanovski in his first fight. And, he did beat Charles. But anyways, you suck, Ali Abdelaziz. Nobody cares about your opinion. MMA is a sport of what have you done for me lately? And lately, Islam ducked Ilia Topuria and ran in hopes that he can stylistically beat in the most stylistically favorable matchup against Jack Della Maddalena, of which I am rooting for JDM. I really, really hope JDM beats these dudes. Honestly speaking, God, man, honestly. But anyway, it is what it is. So shout outs to them. I'm just going to formally move on to another news. Back to the very lost individual, Paddy. You see, in 2025, this is what you do. You don't fight in the octagon anymore. You ride off the coattails of other greats. This very lost individual, Paddy Pimblett, had the guts to go on the VS podcast, and he also said Ilia Topuria wouldn't have gotten a title shot that fast if it wasn't for him beefing. Like, no one knew who he was. He's just a Conor McGregor clone. He's a midget. I'm so much wider than him. I just kick him around the cage. I can't wait to shock a lot of people. Dude, Ilia has been champion in 2 divisions. You have just fought your first ever ranked opponent, and it was Michael Chandler, for God's sake. See, honestly speaking, but I blame Dana. Dana is the one who hypes these dudes up. He's always putting them in places so people think they are something when they actually aren't. You have accomplished nothing. You have accomplished nothing. You want to talk about Charles, you want to talk about Conor, you want to talk about Ilia. At the stage you are in your career, were already Charles was already champion. Yes, I don't count Charles' first run as a run. It's his 11 fight win streak that count as a run. But at the stage that Paddy is in, is it not a shame that Paddy is just fighting his first ever ranked opponent? And the ranked opponent he fought in question was Michael Chandler, who shouldn't be a ranked opponent. Maybe that should be a video. Ranked opponents who definitely shouldn't be ranked opponents. I feel like that has been done before. But anyway, the dude goes on to say that he's not fighting, just engaging in August. That's mental. Here's the truth, but nobody wants to see you fight, bro. You do not sell. We don't care. You're a scouser. That's all. You're a scouser who doesn't get knocked out. Shut up. Lose some weight, dude. You look fat. Like, shut up, honestly speaking. Anyway, Bilal Muhammad goes on to say he'd welcome Ilia Topuria to the welterweight division. I think Bilal would be able to get that done, honestly speaking. But anyway, Bilal went on to say some more lost individual shit because he's delusional and he says he still thinks he won that fight. I think Bilal is just waking up from the beating he took. I think maybe Bilal is just waking up from the fact that his mouth got cut in 2. Bilal should just go and look at his face, look at how many strikes and knees he absorbed. Like, come on, bro. And anyway, Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill is just coming to Twitter that he hasn't been on his level for quite some time. And people severely underestimate the injuries he's dealt with. I have to do more, work harder, and I have to grind harder. You know what? Shout outs to Jamal Hill. I actually think this is true. He's been looking slow. He's been looking not like himself. So I actually agree with this. But, it is what it is. Shout outs to him. And then the pound for pound king says Islam Makhachev ran away from him. This is very true. He goes on to say if the UFC offered him to fight Justin Gaethje, I think he would stay at 155. He knows I'm dangerous. He knows I'm going to put him to sleep. Even Khabib knows. And these are absolutely facts. Ilia Topuria will probably put Islam to sleep. I don't know how he'll do it. I think he'd choke him out. I think he probably, I think Islam would probably shoot and Ilia would just, I don't know, choke him out or something. But, it'd definitely be an interesting fight. But I have Ilia winning this one. And then Ilia says his ideal scenario is a champ versus champ fight against Islam Makhachev. And he says he would love to see Islam getting the title and the UFC letting him go up to 170 and getting a 3rd belt. Man, if it's at 170, I think if he's fighting specifically Islam, he has a shot. But I think the 170 guys would probably just be too big for him. I think if they're going to make that fight, they should make it at a catch weight, honestly speaking. Like, it won't be fair to him since he's the smaller dude. Like, he's a small, even at lightweight, he's a small lightweight. So, he's like a physique kind of lightweight. But the dude can do it. He really believes he can do it and it's possible. She understands. And Ilia Topuria says that Paddy Pimblett is one of his easiest fights at 155. This is nothing but facts, as we have seen. He say he can choose the way he wants to finish him. Maybe it'd be cool to submit him with a triangle choke and put his balls on his forehead. That is actually true. I definitely do see that happening. Paddy does have that. Paddy does look like he's a crotch sniffing twat. And I really, really hope if they are making Ilia versus Paddy, Ilia just chokes Paddy out. I really can't stand Paddy. All these beans and toast niggas. I really can't stand them. Whether it's Paddy, Leheron Murphy, or Leon Edwards, they really, really piss me off. The only British dudes I really liked was Michael Bisping and Thomas Pennell. Those are the only guys from the UK that I really fuck with. As for the rest of them, man, they can always eat, they can always kick rocks or something. I'm rooting for Ilia. Just personally, I really don't like Paddy. I don't like his face. I don't like the way he talks. He talks like as if he's something he's not, and it really, really pisses me off. But anyway, that's the news. Shoutouts championship rounds. I'm going to be doing stuff like this. Maybe I'll just go on Twitter and be reading MMA news and be letting you guys know my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comment sections below. Always remember, there is no love for Mario Bautista, Leron Murphy, and Leon Edwards on my channel. So just in case you are getting, moist about my comments, you know what to do. But anyway, shout outs to everybody. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And who knows, maybe I'll catch you on in the Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje prediction video. See you guys around. Check out these videos here, and don't forget to keep your hands up and protect yourself at all times.